Our organization was created because the system as it exists today is failing because it's not designed to succeed. It doesn't serve the interests of kids because it's not designed to. It's designed to serve the interests of powerful adult special interest groups. So fundamentally, at the end of the day, the only way we're going to change things is to transfer power to parents. Everybody cares about kids, but parents are the only ones who only care about kids. Parents have wholly different incentive structures than everybody else and in a different sense of urgency than everybody else. They can't sit around and wait for pilot programs and half measures. They need change now. Our goal isn't to transform one school or two schools or a dozen schools or 100 schools. Our goal is to change the way our public education system operates by giving power to parents. Teachers have their own union, administrators have their own union, parents need to have their own union too. Parents want a seat at the table to advocate for the interests of their kids, and that's what this is all about. This is all made possible by California's historic parent trigger law that gives parents the power to transform their schools simply through community organizing. At many of the schools we work with, parents have been working for years or even generations to transform their schools, and nobody has listened to them. For the first time ever, because of California's parent trigger law, the people with power have to listen to the parents. The legal leverage point for our organization is California's historic parent trigger law that gives parents, for the first time ever, the power to transform their failing schools simply through community organizing. That if half the parents at a failing school sign a petition, they can either bring in new staff, new leadership, or they can convert their school into a nonprofit charter school, or they can use their power as leverage to bargain, to say, look, we need your help. We can't have a great school without great teachers, without great administrators, without a great principal. But at the end of the day, you can't have a great school without great teachers. And oh, by the way, we also have real power. So let's sit and talk and listen and respect each other and come together around a Kids First agenda. The power of our organization and the power of this movement is rooted in California's historic parent trigger law that gives parents the power to transform their failing schools simply through community organizing. But fundamentally, the other thing that makes our organization effective is that we're a learning organization. We recognize that there is no roadmap, there's no playbook for the work we do because we invented this law and we're the only ones working to implement it. And so after every single campaign, we sit and take stock of what worked, what didn't, and work to do better, with the North Star being giving parents power over the educational destiny of their own children. We don't measure success by transforming one school or two schools or a dozen schools. At the end of the day, parents are beginning to understand that they need Kids First change not just at the school site level, but at the district level, at the state level, even at the federal level. So success at the end of the day is using Parent Trigger to help parents to come together around a Kids First agenda at every single level of government and politics in America. Our opponents, because the status quo is quite difficult to defend, they tend to rely on conspiracy theories to make their argument. But at the end of the day, parents recognize that parents and good teachers have a whole lot in common when it comes to a Kids First agenda. It's good for kids if teachers are paid a lot more money. It's good for kids if we raise taxes to do it. It's good for kids if teachers are respected and empowered and not micromanaged by a bureaucrat who's never set foot in their classroom, never met their kids. It's even good for kids if teachers are unionized and have basic workplace protections. Fundamentally, it's also good for kids if teachers, as well as all other adults, are held accountable for how well kids do. But, at the end of the day, the narrative around this work oftentimes focuses on what we disagree about, but it's also important to recognize that we are never going to get to the goal of a Kids First agenda unless we all march together. And that's what this movement's all about. Over the course of 4 years, we've scaled an idea into a national social movement. We invented the California's Parent Trigger Law that gives parents the power to transform their failing school through community organizing. We implemented it for the first time in Compton in 2010, and those parents won a charter school for their kids. We won the first Parent Trigger campaign in the history of America at a tiny school in the middle of the Mojave Desert called Desert Trails Elementary School, where those parents were able to turn their failing school into a high-performing charter school that serves the interests of their kids. The next year, we worked collaboratively with the LAUSD to work out an historic agreement where the parents now are going to have the school district working collaboratively with a charter operator to serve the interests of their kids in an innovative way that has never been done before. And this isn't just happening in Los Angeles. This is a social movement that is spreading across the country in real time to places like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and other states as well. So over 4 years, we've taken an idea, scaled it into a social movement, and with your help, we can do a whole lot more. One of the historical challenges and vulnerabilities is that we're taking on some of the most powerful interests in America. That while parents see the goal as collaboration, that we can't have great schools without great teachers, great administrators, great principals working together with great parents, many people who defend the status quo see this as a zero-sum game. That if parents are gaining power, they must be losing power, and they've got to do whatever they can to stop it. The other problem that we have, or the other challenge that we have, is that nobody's ever done this before. There's no roadmap. There's no playbook for the work we do. We have to basically build the airplane while it's in the air and learn while we're doing it so that we can continue to innovate and improve and get better. We have thousands of parents coming to us asking for help, not just in California, but all across America. So with additional resources, we'll be able to help those parents. In California, we can help them form parent union chapters and to run their own parent trigger campaigns to transform their failing schools. And across America, we can help train other community groups to learn how to do this kind of work. We're happy to train any local community group that wants to do this same kind of work, and they're going to be better positioned than we are to know what the needs, wants, and desires are of the parents in their community trapped in systemically failing schools. Right now, we help parents transform their failing schools using California's Parent Trigger Law. But what parents are beginning to recognize is that while Parent Trigger gives them an historic amount of power, it's necessary but not sufficient because many of the problems that are plaguing these schools are problems rooted not just at the school level, but at the district level, at the state level, even at the national level. And so with more resources, we can help parents to organize collectively at their district for Kids First change, at their state and at the national level, with the ultimate goal creating a social movement of grassroots parents advocating for the interests of their kids and forcing the system to serve the interests of kids rather than the interests of powerful adults.